The chandeliers glittered above the grand hall of the city's most prestigious charity gala, casting golden light over gowns, jewels, and whispered promises of wealth and power. But amid the glamour and carefully polished smiles, a storm was waiting to break. Isabella Hart, 6 months pregnant and glowing not with joy, but with exhaustion, entered hand-in-hand with her billionaire husband, Damian Cole. To the world, they looked like the perfect couple, a powerful man and his beautiful wife, carrying his heir. But perfection is a mask, and that night, it cracked in front of hundreds of eyes. As Isabella sat quietly at their table, adjusting her dress to cover the swelling curve of her belly, Damian's mistress, a woman named Veronica Kane, notorious for her beauty and cruelty, walked in like she owned the room. She strutted across the floor, her red dress blazing against the sea of diamonds, and leaned down toward Isabella. With a sharp, venomous smile, Veronica whispered loud enough for others to hear, "A charity gala suits you, Isabella. After all, you've become nothing but charity in Damian's life." The laughter that followed from Veronica and her circle of friends cut through Isabella like glass, leaving her frozen, humiliated, and painfully aware that the world was watching her downfall. Viewers, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the strength to rise even when life pushes you down, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Your support helps us continue to tell stories that touch hearts and remind us that resilience is the most beautiful form of wealth. Isabella's world seemed to shatter that evening. She had endured whispers about Damian's infidelity for months, choosing silence for the sake of her unborn child. But now, her humiliation had become a spectacle. Cameras clicked, capturing her pain for gossip columns, while Damian stood by Veronica, offering no defense, no shield for his wife. Isabella sat in that glittering hall, her hands trembling, her throat aching with tears she refused to let fall in public. In that moment, she realized the man she had once trusted with her life had not only betrayed her heart, but also her dignity. Back at her home, the silence was unbearable. The luxurious mansion felt like a prison, every polished surface reflecting the emptiness she carried inside. But Isabella was not entirely alone. Her older brother, Ethan Hart, a fiercely principled lawyer with a reputation for dismantling corrupt empires in court, came to her side. When he saw the hurt in his sister's eyes, his resolve hardened. He promised her she would never have to bow her head again, not to Damian, and certainly not to his mistress. The months that followed became a whirlwind of emotional battles. Isabella faced sleepless nights, haunted by memories of a marriage that had turned into a cruel facade. Yet with every tear she shed, Ethan worked tirelessly behind the scenes, gathering evidence, exposing lies, and preparing to strike back. The courtroom soon became their battlefield, and for once, Damian and Veronica found themselves on the defensive. When the trial began, it was more than just a legal case. It was a public reckoning. The headlines blazed with scandal: Billionaire's mistress and betrayed wife face off in court. Crowds filled the gallery, eager to witness the drama unfold. Isabella, dressed simply but with quiet strength, sat beside her brother. She no longer looked like the broken woman from the gala. Her pain had forged her into something unshakable, and with Ethan by her side, she carried the weight of not only her own dignity, but also the future of her child. Ethan's voice filled the courtroom with sharp precision as he presented evidence of Damian's financial frauds, Veronica's schemes, and the deliberate attempts to humiliate his pregnant wife. Piece by piece, he dismantled their facade of glamour and power, revealing greed, cruelty, and betrayal beneath. The once confident Damian squirmed in his seat, his empire crumbling, while Veronica's smug smile vanished under the weight of undeniable truth. Isabella, for the first time in months, felt the stirrings of justice. Every testimony, every revelation, felt like a balm to her wounded soul. She was no longer just the pregnant wife humiliated at a gala. She was a woman standing tall, reclaiming her life. The crowd inside the courtroom began to shift too. Where once they had pitied or judged her, now they looked at her with admiration, with respect for her courage to face her betrayers in such a public arena. At the climax of the trial, when the judge announced the verdict, silence filled the air. Damian was found guilty not only of financial crimes, but also of breaching marital contracts, leaving Isabella with both justice and financial security for her child. Veronica, implicated in his schemes, faced ruin as well. They had walked into the courtrooms as predators, but they walked out broken, their reputations destroyed. For Isabella, it wasn't about wealth or revenge. It was about dignity, about showing her child one day that she chose not to suffer in silence, but to rise. As she left the courthouse, the flashes of cameras felt different this time. They didn't capture humiliation, they captured strength, resilience, and triumph. And yet, Isabella didn't celebrate with arrogance. She celebrated quietly, holding her brother's hand, whispering gratitude to the man who had fought for her when she could no longer fight for herself. Ethan reminded her of something she had almost forgotten, that even in betrayal, family and love could restore broken pieces. If this story touched your heart, if Isabella's strength, her journey from humiliation to triumph, reminded you of the importance of dignity, family, and resilience, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Royal Stories. It helps us continue to create stories that inspire and heal. And before we end, we have a special request. Comment below what lesson you took from Isabella's journey. Was it the power of standing up for yourself, the value of family, or the reminder that even in our darkest nights, there's always a way to rise again? Your words matter more than you know.